Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transforming BOM Management session. My name is Naim Dalal. I'm the ENOVIA Portfolio Marketing Director. I have more than 15 years experience with DASA systems, supporting the marketing and the development of the go-to-market activities related to the BOM management, change, configuration management, and more in order to address the market needs. Today with me, I have Rick Hahn, who is the ENOVIA Portfolio Marketing Senior Management. Rick has more than 20 years experience with DASA systems, supporting the marketing development of the CAD integration solutions and other related applications on the platform. Today, we're going to review the challenges of the topic, and after that, we're going to introduce the solutions which answer these challenges. We're going to demonstrate how we can address these challenges through different roles of the platform. And finally, we are going to take a look at some of the takeaways of the session today. So let's start by saying that the bill of material, and I'm sure everybody of you know that the bill of material is the center of the collaboration in the enterprise. It contains software components, mechanical components, electrical components. And these components are designed and developed not in a single place, but in different places in the world. Today, we know that development of product is something that is done worldwide, and that introduces immediately a lot of challenges. That's something that has to happen at 24 hours session 7, all this product definition. And we need to be sure that when we develop our products, we need to address the market needs, knowing that these market needs are always changing. There is a lot of variability of the products today, and we need to be agile and collaborating in a proper way in order to address all these market needs and challenges. Now, it's not just the design discipline here. The same challenges apply also to other disciplines. So that could be the design, could be also the manufacturing and the sourcing as well. We know that all these disciplines are not located in the same location, and that introduces other challenges also. And we see here that within such a global product development, we have challenges in communication. We have challenges of the delays of the delivery of the product in the market and to the customer, and all the complexity is increased because of all of these challenges. So at the end, unfortunately, innovation is reduced because we are focusing more and more on resolving these kind of challenges, and we are focusing less on the innovation of our products. So when we are working within these disciplines and delivering products and bill of materials from different disciplines, we have all these silos which are created by each discipline. So we have maybe a software bill of material, we have a purchasing bill of material, and because of all these challenges, all these processes are disconnected from each other if we don't work together. And we have what we call self-managed bill of materials that are not synchronized, or they have to be synchronized all the time, at the right time by the right people in order to develop the right product definition. So if you look at the bill of material today, it could be something managed maybe in Excel file, which is nothing but a list of raw materials that have limited number of attributes, and it's something static, which means that it's something that is not updated automatically. It's something I need always to synchronize through external application, such as the CAD application, and there is a synchronization that's happening all the time. So when I create something in this bill of material report, it needs to be synchronized somehow into the CAD application in order to be aligned with the same product definition. The other way around also happens. When I add a new part in the CAD application, I need to synchronize it to the bill of materials. So we are all aligned with the design. So design and engineering have always to be aligned together through these kind of synchronization activities that might go wrong. And we know that in many cases, these things might go wrong. They might not happen at the right time. And that will cause errors eventually in the manufacturing. If something goes wrong in the bill of material definition and it is not accurate enough, then that has major issues further on in the manufacturing. So let's take a look now at the solution that is proposed through ENOVIA. So the main important point here is that we are talking about a single product structure or single product definition in the platform, in the 3D Experience platform. So that means that synchronization here is not an issue at all. It's not a topic. Every user in the organization who has access, obviously, to the product definition will see this content the way they are interested in. So if I'm a mechanical designer, I would be focusing on the mechanical component. For me, this is a mechanical structure. If I am electronic designer, then I will be looking only at those electronic components which are of interest in my design, in my daily activities. If I am a lead engineer, I will be focusing on those parts which make my work. And I am, as a software engineer, I would be looking only at the software part of this product structure. So the whole idea is that everyone in the organization, no matter what is your job, no matter what is your development process, you are always looking at the same content which is available in a single product structure. So there is no more synchronization between these different disciplines. They are working together on the same product structure, and they are feeding this product structure based on their discipline, their experience, and they have a visibility altogether on all this product definition without the need to synchronize to update this product structure from separated domains. So this happens thanks to a role that is available in the platform, which is the product release engineer. So it's a web application or a web role which allows you to contribute to the product engineering definition and have access to the most up-to-date information in order to advance your product innovation. This role is available in the platform with the prerequisites of the platform itself, that is the collaborative business innovator and the collaborative industry innovator. And with this role, I can help reduce the engineering definition by maximizing the data reuse and reducing the whole product complexity, product structure complexity. And this role gives you an intuitive user experience. So everyone in the organization, no matter from which discipline you are coming from, you will be able to have access and view the content you are interested in within a single product definition, within a single widget. So how do we define engineering definition? Engineering definition is basically puts the product in the center of this definition, and all around it we have the different components where we define this content. So we're talking about products that could be mechanical products or electric products, software, and that is either a single or a structure. So within the product release engineer, you can define any type of structure you are interested in. We attach also documents. So documents could be specification documents, or they could be just an attachment to the product. And they could be also drawings which define also the product itself. We also define the enterprise item numbers, which are the official numbers that are available further on in the downstream applications. The definition could be manual, or it could be based on a formula that has been defined by the administrator. So there are different ways how you can apply the enterprise item number. Obviously, it depends on the policies which are available by the enterprise itself. We also have the manufacturing definition. So early in the product definition or early in the development, I can start applying manufacturing items either of type make or buy. And I want to emphasize one point here. To define manufacturing items, we do not need DILMIA license. We do not need any extra role. So within the license of product release engineer, I can start building my manufacturing items. We have also alternate definition. So that's something I can contribute also to the engineering definition content by adding alternate components, and they could be defined locally, which means that they are available only for specific bill of materials, or globally, which means that when my engineering item is only available in specific bill of materials, then this alternate will be available. And obviously, I can also qualify these alternate definitions so it will be officially valid in the enterprise. And we can also define other types of materials, what we call core and cover materials. So the core material is from which material my product is made of. So that's something I can define in the engineering definition. And I can also define the cover material. So what will be the material that covers my product? For example, the paint. That is something I can also define as part of my engineering definition. So the application that we are going to see today is called the engineering release. And within this application, I have access to all this information in a single place. It's the application that delivers to me the engineering definition from different aspects. And it is a very easy application to work with. As you can see here, it gives you a quick access and very easy visual view of the components you are interested to work with. So what we have here, we have the root. This is the top root of the assembly. We have the children, and we have different attributes. For example, the CAD master, which shows me from which CAD application these components have been generated. So there's a lot of attributes here. This is something that you can personalize. Every user can personalize this view. Some are more interested maybe in information like the quantities and life cycle and other type of information. Others would like maybe to focus more on the enterprise item number, more on cover material, core material, and so on. So you can really personalize all this view based on your needs. So to understand how this role works with SolidWorks and how SolidWorks works with this role, let's take a look at this short demo that we have prepared for you, which gives you really understanding of the engineering definition and how we can collaborate together around the engineering definition. So we have here this hatch. We have an issue with this hatch which we want to resolve in SolidWorks. And the issue is related to the wheel. And you can see that in this wheel, we have insufficient space between the wheel itself and the lock. This might cause a squeeze of fingers when we are activating or deactivating the lock itself. So we are trying to fix this problem by simply redesigning the wheel. And it's going to be a better design, which will really resolve this problem. So in order to resolve this problem, we have different steps that we put in place here. And we will start basically by a navigation through this widget. So in order to give you a really understanding of the engineering definition and the product release engineer role, first let's take a look at the widget. Let's review the content of this widget. And after that, we will start working with the SolidWorks. And first, Rick is going to show us how he will take the task that was assigned to him directly from SolidWorks. And from this task, he will understand what is the issue, what is the problem, what needs to be done. And the first thing he will do in SolidWorks is to remove the old wheel, which is a problem in this assembly. And we will immediately see that within the engineering definition in the web, this wheel will not exist anymore. So without any synchronization, what happened in SolidWorks will be immediately synchronized automatically, or will not be available in the web. And we will see that from the web, from the product release engineer role, Rick will add the new wheel without any geometry. He will add some more specifications and an enterprise item number. And finally, in SolidWorks, we will see exactly the same wheel. And then he will create the 3D geometry. And once he finalizes the work, he will freeze the work. And then I will take the same wheel, and then I will add some more engineering definitions. So it's going to be the alternate components and the manufacturing item. And finally, we will take a look at all this definition in a single place, which is the Relations app, which gives me the complete content of what was created and what are all these related components, whether they are alternate components, parents and children. And the major importance of this relation app is that it gives you visibility on where this component is being used, what are the related components to it, before you do any decision of modification. So it's really one of the most important apps that helps you to take decisions in such cases. So first, let's focus on the product engineering release. So this is the application. We see here on the left side that my hatch has a hybrid design. So it has two sub-assemblies. One is SolidWorks, and I can see it from the CAD master. It's visually easy. And I see that the other sub-assembly is designed in CATIA V5. So within one click, I can see in this panel different engineering information, which I can navigate. I can have more access to more attributes. And again, I can see that the CAD master here was SolidWorks, which means that this sub-assembly was designed in SolidWorks. And from here we can update the attributes if needed. Now I'm going to focus more on this engineering definition so I can maximize this view. I'm less interested now in the 3D visualization of this assembly. And I can start navigating on the structure. So it could be a single structure or multiple structures. I can simply start navigating on the complete structure or the complete definition. And since this could be huge, I might want to focus on a specific type of components. So for example, we can colorize the components based on their CAD master. So using the tagger, I can colorize the relevant components, for example, based on their CAD master, or in other scenarios, I am interested in doing the same thing based on the maturity state. So I may want to understand which components are released, which ones are frozen, and based on that, I can visually understand the components based on their maturity states, thanks to this colorization, which is available in the tagger. So again, this is really a very important visual view that can help me to focus on the relevant components through this tagger functionality. Now, we can also add more attributes. We can reduce, as I mentioned earlier, this widget is really highly personalized. You can personalize it. You can add attributes. You can remove them. Everyone can define which attributes are interested. They are interested in adding here based on their roles in the organization. And from this menu, you can easily add more products. You can upload documents, either new documents or existing documents, and you can also add drawings as well. So this way you can enrich your engineering definition. Within one click, you can set the enterprise item number. So it could be done manually. You can type manually the enterprise item number, but in this case, the administrator has defined a formula which allows automatic definition of the enterprise item number. I can also search within this structure. So since it could be very complex, I can simply type the name of my assembly or one word, and I can focus directly on this engineering item. And again, from within the panel, I have access to alternate definition, core material, and so on. And we can see here that from within the alternate definition, there are different actions I can do. For example, I can promote, I can qualify, and so on and so forth. Now we come back to the complete assembly, and I want to focus now on another sub-assembly that will be the hatch, and I want to understand the relations. So with a right click, I can get to the relations app, and I can navigate on different relations. For example, the parents, maybe the materials that have been defined as covering material of this hatch, and maybe the children as well. And again, there are different ways to review that. So I can see the children directly from here. I can review the list. And from here, I will be able to understand more and more on these relations. And I can also further navigate on these children if I'm interested maybe in other applications in order to better understand before doing any modification what is the current structure, what are the current relations that are available for this assembly. Now, I have now another way to group content of within this widget. So let's now go to this hatch assembly, and I'm gonna show you how we can group in order to focus again on specific set of information. And this time it will be based on maturity state. So I can reorganize, in fact, this view based on maturity state. Let's say I'm interested in components which are frozen because this is my work. Maybe these are the components I need to approve, or something that is still in work. So instead of really navigating one by one, I can use this functionality to group by, and I can also group by, for example, components which are latest revisions here. So I know that these components are really the latest ones in my engineering definition. Okay, so this was an overview to start with. Now Rick is going to show us how we can resolve this problem in SolidWorks. At the same time, he's going to show us also how to work with the engineering release using the product release engineer role. And finally, he's going to freeze the work, and then I'm going to continue from there. So to you now, Rick.
Thanks, Naim, and hello, everyone. So let's get right into this demo flow that Naim has illustrated here. First, I'm going to open the task directly within the SolidWorks panel, so the designer doesn't have to go back to the browser for this information. Within the task, I can access all the information, including, for example, the specification. I can preview it directly here in SolidWorks, or I could spawn it externally and look at it in a full browser window as well. I also have the attached assembly that I need to work on here directly here, so I don't have to go searching for that. I can just drag it and drop it directly into the SolidWorks window here and open it into session so I can get started on this project. The system is validating, and it makes sure that I have all the information local and it's correct. And the issue I have here, of course, is that this wheel that we have, we know we want to replace it. In the description, discuss the size of the ring. We need a bigger wheel on here. So my first mission is simply to remove this wheel from the system. And I'm going to return to the My Session panel so I can set that value and set that in the system so it's recorded into the database so all other users will be aware of it. I can see it showing that it's out of sync. So I'm just simply going to save this information and write this back to the server. So all other stakeholders will see this information in real time once I've made and accepted the change I've made to the system here within SolidWorks, which is simply at this point to remove the wheel. Now normally we would continue moving forward, but for this example we're just going to step out for just a moment here back to a browser, and technically I'd probably be somebody else in the system for this step, but I can go to that same task as me or another user, drag that same assembly into Release Engineer, and take a look at if what exactly has occurred in this structure. If I go searching for this part that we were just looking at in SolidWorks and I save back to the system, I see that it's gone. There is no 4100 hatch anymore in the system. So I can see that the database is tracking in real time with the changes the designer's making while he's in his session. So at this point, what we want to do is start and initiate a new design in the system. And I want it to be specifically a SolidWorks part that I use. So I can choose from a multitude of templates that support our various CAD integrations. And I'm going to name that a new hatch wheel 4200. I'll use the same description for now. We'll go ahead and create that. And what it is I'm actually, as a non-designer, adding this new template of this particular CAD system assembly part to this assembly. And now I have it in here. If I open that part directly in Release Engineer, I can access the attributes of it. Now the first thing we want to do here is, if you look at the information, we've got a number of fields that we can control that relate to this part's definition. One of those is attachments. Now back in the task, as you might recall, and the designer was looking at it, I had the specification doc. Well, I want to link that directly to this new hatch because it also will drive this hatch at its definition as well. So I want to keep, stay with it for the rest of its existence. So I've dragged it in, associated it to the design. Once I've done that, I'm all set there. But next I want to assign the actual enterprise item number. Now, the system can allow you to do that manually, or in this case, we can use an automation within the system where it's defined by an administrator with a certain sequence. And you can see here we have EIN 57 is the next available sequence. So we've created a new physical CAD part in the system. We've assigned it some specification and an enterprise item number. So let's return to SolidWorks. Now within SolidWorks now, the designer's job, of course, is to create this new wheel and add it to the system. Well, if he opens it up, the first thing he'll notice here is that the wheel does exist in the system. What we want to do now is simply work with it. So we can open up this new hatch wheel and we'll start designing directly on it. I tend to like to design in place, so I'm just going to say edit this part directly in the assembly. So we'll open that up and I'm going to choose a place to start working here. I know that the other part is, let's see, I'll just start with a basic extrusion here to get started on this. We'll assign a face to work on where I want to start working, and we'll start sketching here. Now obviously I don't want to sit here and build the entire hatch in front of you. It would take me several minutes, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to zoom ahead to where I've completed this particular hatch, this new hatch wheel design here. And we will take advantage of a little magic here to zoom forward. And we can see a new wheel that I've created that meets the criteria of changes that we need, mainly clearances between, so my knuckles don't get dragged against the unlock arm or the retention handles that stick out. That was just some of the requirements we had here. So I've rebuilt this new wheel. Now that I have it, I need to address that in the system. The system notifies me that it hasn't been saved. So I'm going to go ahead and first save all this information and update it. I already have it locked from the previous session, so no one else can be making changes. So I'm locked into this interactive process, and no one else can be altering the parts while I'm making changes to the design. So by saving the end item, I've also saved the underlying component to the system. Lastly, what I want to do is, because of a review process, I want to mark it as frozen, which indicates to the broader shareholders of this project what part that it needs, is really in a review cycle at this point. This is also a process we would use to freeze if we're working in a formal change action procedure. Now that we have that, we can return to the collaborative task as the designer. And I want to mark that this task, which was assigned to me to make this new wheel, is complete. I can simply do that directly here, once again, by never leaving SolidWorks, save that change, and now that's complete in the system. With that, I'll turn the presentation back over to Naim.
Thank you, Rick. So we have seen the scenario in SolidWorks now. So let's continue and let's add some more engineering definition. So this time I'm going to add alternate components, manufacturing items, and finally I'm going to review everything within the Relations app. So to start with, I'm going to search for the wheel. So it's a new wheel that was designed as we have seen earlier. And when I select it, I can see that it is highlighted in the 3D. But if I want to focus on it, I can simply drag and drop it directly into the 3D play, and I can have a view on the 3D geometry that was designed earlier by Rick. And from within this panel, I can start building some more engineering content. And this time, I will start by working with the alternate definition of this wheel. So we're going to add some components that might be qualified for the alternate of this wheel. So I'm going to add a wheel which is released in this case, and it is for all usages of the new wheel, which means that this is a global alternate. So it's not per specific bill of material, but it's for all the bill of materials of this wheel. I'll try to qualify it now. I'm not sure it's going to work, but let's see. So without looking at the information in this message, it's an error. I cannot qualify it. And the reason is that the new wheel is not yet released. So the system protects me from doing these errors because the new wheel must first be released, and only then I can qualify the alternate. So it's a protection system. Now let's add a manufacturing item. And again, I repeat that for this, there is no need for another license, the MIA license, for example. So we are going to build a new buy item. So this is not a make, but it's going to be a buy item. And that is attached directly to the new wheel. So one of the things I can do now is to define where this will be manufactured or sourced, for example. So I can move this new definition to a new collaborative space, especially that if we are going to work, for example, with different manufacturing sites, I can do that in order to define all these manufacturing sites through this action. So now that I have completed this definition, let's review the relations and let's see what has been already defined by either by myself, by Rick, or by others. So we can see here that we have the manufacturing definition. It's available now. I have one parent, and when I navigate to this parent, I can also navigate on all the children of this parent. So it's really a complete visual view of all these possible available relations. And I can see also the covering material that was defined for this wheel, maybe by someone else, and also children, and also the manufacturing item that was defined earlier. I'm sorry, the alternate item that was just defined for this wheel, and that was a global definition. So this is the end of the demonstration. So what are our takeaways? So what we have seen here that within the 3D Experience platform solutions, you can expand your engineering, your bill of material management and definition from being a list of materials, which is generated at the end of the development process, into a holistic product engineering definition that is in the very center of the whole development process from the beginning until the end of this process. And the platform provides you tools which gives you access, which is a real-time access to the engineering definition by all the stakeholders, and it is presented in the way they need to see it. They can visualize the content the way they need to work on, the way they need to visualize it, because it is the only content that is relevant to their needs. I hope this was beneficial for all of you. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a great event.